Gareth Bale. So Marca, which is the mouthpiece of Real Madrid, is coming out and saying that Gareth Bale has been negotiating with Chelsea and Manchester United over a possible move this summer. It's also been parroted in The Sun, and the basis of all this is that Kylian Mbappe is coming in £161 million or thereabouts, and Real Madrid are going to need to sell somebody, one, to fit them in, and two, for financial reasons, because let's face it, £161 million on Mbappe is going to sting no matter whose wallet you're taking it out of. So as for how I see that coming off, I know a lot of people are saying forget about Bale, he's massively injury prone and all that, and I completely take that, I totally take that, but I would still take him, because I think a fit Gareth Bale is going to be an absolutely firing addition to Manchester United. I think Manchester United would get improved several-fold by having a match-winning player like Gareth Bale. Now, I think that's how you become one of the top teams in European football, is you need to have 2, 3, 4 players that if you don't cover them players, you end up getting beat. So, you see, last season, Pogba gets shut down in the big games for Manchester United. We kind of struggled because we didn't really have that other player to come and really take hold of a game. Now this season, if you shut Pogba down, Lukaku's going to hurt you. If you shut down Lukaku, I really expect Mkhitaryan to try and do something, or Herrera to pull something out. But if you've also got a Gareth Bale in there as well, then the options are greater. A team can plug only so many holes, and if they can't plug somebody like a Gareth Bale, then I think that's where you really start to see a team completely come into their own and really start to go and dominate. Money-wise, you're talking 90 to 100 million pounds, whatever. At the moment, none of this makes sense with what Neymar's gone for today. None of this makes sense, so I can't really moan about a transfer fee. If the club's happy to pay it, then sweet, let's get that thing paid. I don't like to see United rinse, but when it's a superstar signing like a Bale, I don't think you can really complain about it too much. We saw how much the world record fee was last summer for Paul Pogba. That's not just been smashed, that's been completely ripped up and flushed down the toilet, hasn't it? It's been unbelievably smashed by Neymar and Paris Saint-Germain this summer. So whatever it costs, I'm sure we're fine with it. And can we stop with the myth as well that shirt sales alone recoups a player's transfer? Honestly, the research is out there. It doesn't. We've been paid up front from Adidas. We make a tiny percentage of sales, and we don't really make anything at all until we've sold like 2 or 3 million shirts, which is a phenomenal amount that we barely sold last year, which was one of our best years with the Ibrahimovic and Pogba ones. So stop saying that, we should just pay it because we can make it back in shirt sales. That's not true, but we do make it back in other commercial ways, and we can definitely afford it. So I think let's go for it. Let's go for somebody like a Bale. And this links nicely into the next one, where we're going to talk about Perisic. This is in the Express. The Express claiming Jose is furious. Now, he's not saying he's furious in the press conferences. He's clearly saying that he wouldn't mind that fourth player, but he's not furious, is he? That's them trying to create a little bit of drama out of nothing. Of course Jose wants an extra player. Of course he would like to go into the season with all his players being in before pre-season, but sometimes it don't work like that. And I think what you've just seen with Neymar is going to spark off a chain reaction around Europe, and Kylian Mbappe to Real Madrid, if that one comes off in the next couple of weeks as well, that's going to spark off a massive amount of transfers around Europe, and Manchester United needs to be well placed to take advantage of, pick the players up that we want. I don't think we're using Perisic as a smokescreen. I think we do want Perisic, and I think Perisic is a good option for Manchester United. But I also think that there's an element of what happened with Morata here, where the player thinks he's coming, the club think we're coming, but United just tread water on it a little bit. It seemed like everybody, all the journalists, even the player himself, thought that the deal was getting done in 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, this weekend, end of the week, Monday. All of this is when the player and everybody else involved in the deal thought the deal was going to go through, but United didn't really push the button to make it final. The reason we didn't push the button to make it final is because on the left-hand side of it going on over here, we're dealing with Lukaku, and we're trying to work out how to get Lukaku in as well. Now, that might be the case. I mean, it's crazy that we're going to do it twice in one window and we don't really ever do it, or we don't really ever see it done so publicly if we have done it in the past. But if this is the case, that we're kind of keeping Perisic on ice because we're working on someone like a Bale, or maybe even a Sanchez. Sanchez is the outside one for me. I really don't think we're going to be getting Sanchez. I think Sanchez is definitely going to Manchester City. But I do think there could be something in us working on Gareth Bale. I really do. So I wonder if we're just keeping Perisic on ice while we try and get Gareth Bale over the line. So this might go to the wire. We might see this taken right up until that final week of the season before we try and make it happen. Now, Spalletti from Inter Milan seems to be making all the noises you would expect them to make by saying, no, the negotiations have stopped a week ago. As far as I'm concerned, the deal's not happening. Of course, that's what he's got to say as the Inter Milan boss. He can't be like, yeah, I'm just waiting for him to pick the phone up and then come and take my player off me. That's not going to do his squad, his player, or anything anybody good, isn't it? Every single manager needs to put up the front that they don't want to sell any player at any price, no matter what. They have to make it look like it's hard work getting a player out of a club so they get the maximum price. And if the deal doesn't come off, then the player doesn't feel disrespected that the manager tried or wanted to sell him. So every manager, I say this so many times, don't I? Every manager, every agent, every single player, they've all got an agenda in a transfer window. Don't take anything any of them say at face value. The final one, let's take the piss out of City for a little bit. Iheanacho's just gone to Leicester and let's take the piss out of him for it, essentially, isn't it? Because if you remember all of the comparisons about Iheanacho and Rashford coming up from last season, and the best one that I saw was a tweet from some guy that said, imagine what it's going to be like 3 years of coaching for Iheanacho, who was already miles better, apparently, than Rashford, versus 3 years of Jose as a coach. Oh my God, levels or something like that. Well, yeah, absolutely, levels. Marcus Rashford played more games for Manchester United last season than any other player as a teenager under Jose Mourinho. What's the best coach in the world done? Pep Guardiola? Yeah, he's just gone and tried to sign everybody and binned off Iheanacho, one that City fans were legitimately saying was going to win a Ballon d'Or. They wouldn't know what a Ballon d'Or looked like, would they? Let's face it. So, Iheanacho, he'd probably come and do well. He's probably a decent pickup for your Fantasy League team. And if you want to know about our Fantasy League team, we'll give you the link in the description in a little bit. We have got a Fantasy League if you want to come and join us and take us on. Iheanacho is a good player, but the way City fans blew him up and made this thing about Rashford and Iheanacho, they was always going to lose out, wasn't there? I actually didn't think Pep would be so bad with the youth players at Manchester City. And it's understandable why you can see the likes of Jadon Sancho wanting to bail out of the place now. It's actually quite laughable when you realise that Pep was brought in to come and do this sort of holistic approach to everything with Manchester City, and the money that he spent is absolutely outrageous, and no one in the press is talking about it. They're all so far up his arse that no one's criticising Pep Guardiola about this. If Jose Mourinho had done this to Marcus Rashford, it'd be parliamentary questions, it'd be on the front page of every single newspaper. This about Iheanacho, there's only United fans picked up on it. None of the press are picking up on it at all. Pep Guardiola's record with youth is massively embellished by what he did with Barcelona. And who's to say that most of them guys was already coming through? If you had a 16-year-old Messi in your team, do you reckon that you could have brought him through and played him? I'm pretty sure you could. Would Messi have always gone on and hit the heights that he hit anyway, regardless of who was his manager? I'm pretty sure he would. I'm pretty sure if Brendan Rodgers was manager of Barcelona, Lionel Messi would have got games and scored goals, because Lionel Messi is a little bit good. So I think Pep Guardiola takes a hell of a lot of credit, which is probably not really fair, to be honest. But there you go. Right, let's see what you dudes are saying in the comments. If it wants to. There we go, we got them on. Remember when people said Iheanacho would shine under Pep and Rashford was suffering to Jose? It's exactly the point that I'm making. What's the fantasy football? It'll be, once this video goes offline and it's not live anymore, we'll pin it in the comments later so you can check it out if you want to get involved in fantasy football with us. Mourinho needs to improve this season and convert draws into win. Bantersaurus Rex, perfect name for this, because I don't remember Jose missing any one-on-ones last season. The job of a manager is to set up a team so they've got the opportunities to score, and they do that by talking through the weaknesses and the places that they want to exploit and the tactics that they employ to try and get through a team's defence. They also set up a team with the maximum amount of protection so they don't concede from another team. Once they cross the white line, it's on the players. Now, when you have 37 shots at home to Burnley, you keep a clean sheet and you've created 37 chances, the manager has done his job. This is where the players get criticised. Now, sometimes the players get criticised unfairly, sometimes the manager gets criticised unfairly, but you have to say, once they cross the white line, if you have 37 shots, the manager has done his job. Where are all the City youth graduates in the first team? Iheanacho is a greater finisher and should have played more for City, but Rashford a much more complete player. Exactly that. I'm not sure if I would have said he was a more complete player last season, arguably a better finisher. Rashford's finishing is excellent. I just don't think he takes enough shots. Because you don't remember him blazing over loads of shots all the time, do you? The doctor's in the comments. He says, I would rather someone who can cross rather than cut inside. We already have Martial for that. Exactly, that's why I think Perisic is a good option for Manchester United. Because he offers something totally different. And I don't think he affects the development of Martial, especially if we're going to be playing two up front. I think there's space for everybody. How about Mata to Roma rumours? I haven't seen those, but I can't deny that I'm worried about Mata entering the final year of his contract. Definitely can't deny that. Someone saying Mourinho needs to play more attacking players in the home games. Possibly. I think that's a possible reason why we're looking at 3-5-2. And I think if you did have two strikers in those games, it might have made it a little bit easier for us to score. Because that was the games that we really cocked it up against, wasn't it? We should sign Sanchez, most realistic we can get for the same price. Is it realistic though? Because if Arsenal just refuse to do business with us, then that's that. Although I think one of the potential outlets for him has now closed, which was Paris. And you can probably twist their arm into selling him someone to you like they did with Van Persie. Can you imagine an absolute meltdown at Arsenal Fan TV if they sold Sanchez to us? I think if they sold Sanchez to us, you might as well be starting putting red and white ribbons on that Premier League title and not for Arsenal. Absolutely not for Arsenal. Listen, we've got a target here at Full Time Devils, and you guys can really help us make this target. We are going for the big one by the end of the season. Now, hopefully this will coincide with a Premier League title, and how nice would that be? We want 500,000 subscribers by the end of this season. You guys let us know. How can we get to 500,000 subscribers? We're all ears, because this is your channel as much as it is our channel. So let us know, what do you want to see us do to get to 500,000? Tell your friends, tell your neighbours, tell the guy that got a bit of a limp who walks down the street. Tell him, get everybody subscribed to Full Time Devils. We'll listen to some suggestions from you guys as well, and then we'll see what we can do. And we try and get to 500,000, just about as many as City took to Blackburn away. That's how many we want to get to. And that's a joke. If you don't get that joke, then I can't help you. Won't Benzema be the one to leave to make space for Mbappe, not Bale? Supposedly not. Supposedly the injury record of Bale is why Real Madrid want to get him, which then, you're like, well, why are we buying him if he's so injured? But I agree with a lot of people's concerns that the injuries of Bale makes him a bit of a strange one. But I'd still go for him, man. He's so good. If Alexis came to United, I would tweet Arsenal Fan TV. Someone says clickbait, that's how. No, we're not clickbait, man. We're honest. This is what we try and do here. We try and give you the honest answer and feedback on everything. We're not about clickbait, because then you're not going to stick around. We want you to stick around. It's not about getting vanity numbers. We want people who want to be here. So tell people and get them to join up and subscribe because you want them to be here and because you think they would like it. We're not going to clickbait. It's not about that, are we, man? Do I think that Griezmann deal will happen next summer? And if so, do we have a spot for him now? I think we still do have a spot for him now, because I thought, if you saw the game in Dublin, we had Mkhitaryan ghosting in and around that number 9 spot. That's how he got his goal, playing off Lukaku. Now, if I said to you, imagine this team, this setup, Matic, Herrera, Pogba as your midfield three, with Griezmann playing off Lukaku. Now that is a team, if you sort out what's going on around the back and at left back as well, that is a team that can compete in Europe, and I think that's the direction Jose's going to. I don't think we're getting Griezmann this summer. I think that's pretty much off the table right now. However, I do think that January and possibly next summer, you might see something happen there. Although it might have already sailed. The ship might have already sailed and we might not be getting him. I just got that feeling, man. Bale is the 10 type player. Well, Bale can play on the left, he can play on the right. 3-5-2 might be the formation we go to quite a lot, but I think you can also play 4-2-3-1, you can also play 4-3-3, for all that different sort of stuff. I'd rather have Sanchez than Bale, to be honest. Sometimes it's not what you prefer, but it's what you can get. And if you can get Bale but you can't get Sanchez, then Bale's better than nobody, innit? You know what I mean? We should get fans to have meltdowns when we lose a game. No, because we're not about that, mate. We're not about people having meltdowns. We're not about people misrepresenting what United fans are really like. We talk to 8-year-olds and 80-year-olds, don't we? And we want to get a nice balanced opinion, because it's not realistic people going flipping out. I think of a lot of what you see on some of them other channels, people are doing it for the effect, and I don't think that's their honest opinion. I know Andy. If you saw Andy at the Full-Time Devils versus Arsenal Fan TV match, or the match against Creators where Sam missed the penalty, Andy actually flips out like that at football. That's his reaction. But I think some people ham it up a little bit, and there's no need to ham it up. You can talk about and analyse football without flipping out, and you don't need to be doing that. Who's better, Bale or Sanchez? I don't like giving those things about who's better, this guy and that guy. They're both absolutely sick. That's all you need to know. Match day vlogs, they're really tough to do every single game, to be honest. Bale will be like Sturridge, good player, injured more than playing. Is it that much though, do you think? Do you really think there's that much in that? Score predictions for game week 1. Oh, we're a while away there, man. How old is Jadon Sancho? He's 17, mate. And he's absolutely sick. Pogba a bargain. Pogba is now officially a bargain. Can we get that? Pogba officially a bargain. What do you reckon? Do you guys agree with that? Pogba officially a bargain. Andres Pereira will shine this season. I agree on that one. Put another Welshman in the number 11 shirt. That's not a bad shout. Bale would be the best signing ever. I think he would fit. I think Bale and United have always had this sort of like peripheral sort of thing going on, haven't they? And I always get the impression that you'll see him in a United shirt at some point. 198 million for Neymar. Oh my days. So try and get the average age of subscribers. Well, YouTube Analytics gives you all that in the back end anyway, so we can see where our average age is and the location of most of them and even what sex they are. So we get a lot of that stuff. Gomez getting any first team this season. I don't know, you know. Yes, collaborations are a good idea. Collaborations are a top idea. Let us know who you want to see us collaborate with. We've just done some stuff with Football Daily. I think that's a channel that we should work with a lot because that's something a bit more wider football, isn't it? Definitely. Do you want to see more of the football channels, the football team stuff? If you want to see more of the football team stuff, you need to start pumping up the numbers on the last video against Creators and make it known that you really want to see that sort of content. And if you do want to see that sort of content, then we will go and play the likes of hashtag Copper90 and anyone else that fancies getting beat off us. Thoughts on Smalling? I think he is shit. Alex, he's not shit, is he? But he does have his frailties. Come on, man. Let's not go too bananas either side of this thing. We can keep it all nice and friendly. Bale 11, Griezmann 7. Who would take 10? I like your thinking. I just don't really care what number people wear, to be honest. When is the Matic video coming out? Oh, the Matic video, like the Lukaku one that I did. When I've edited it, so probably about 2 weeks. Collaborate with Spencer and hashtag. We can sort that out pretty easily. How about Bale on the left-hand side of a 3-5-2? Well, do you know what? Bale started his career at Spurs and at Tottenham as a left-back and was shite. But I don't know if he's got it in him to be that sort of up-and-down wing-back in that sense. I don't know. It'd be interesting to find out, though, wouldn't it? Make the banners more animated. What banners? These banners. I can't use it using the software that we use. Get a fan involved in a football match. We did get fans involved in football matches. If you'd have paid attention, you'd have known that we had loads of subscribers in the Full-Time Devils FC. So there is opportunity for all of you guys, if you're living in the UK at least. We can't fly anybody over. But if you're living in there, if you're living in the UK, especially London or Manchester, then there is an opportunity for you guys to get involved with Full-Time Devils FC. If that's the sort of content you guys want to see, then you got to let us know that's the sort of content you want to see, because until someone says yes or no about it, we're just guessing what we think, aren't we? But there was subscribers that played for us on the day in the Fan League Cup, so the opportunity is going to be there for more people to come and do that as well. Pogba ad with a rap song was cool for the Adidas. Yeah, it was. It is pretty good. It's on MUTV that at the moment, isn't it? Player interviews. We've had player interviews. I think we've had 33 player interviews, actually. We try and get them as often as we can. It's difficult getting them through the club. We get them through the occasional sponsors, but we have had player interviews. They actually don't do as much as some of the fan cams, would you believe? How mad's that? More Fan League. Okay, we can try that, definitely. Marshall can be a good impact player next season. I think so. What is the news about Bale? I was late. Marca, essentially the mouthpiece of Real Madrid, are suggesting that United are in talks with Real Madrid, but they're also in talks with Chelsea over Gareth Bale as well, about what's going on with his future. They think he's going to leave, and United will be looking to get him for around 80, 90, £100 million. So I personally think he's worth taking a risk on. I know a lot of you guys think he's injury prone and should look elsewhere, but you know what? If he's available, I would absolutely get him in. Do football challenges with the full-time Devils team. That's not a bad shout. If we get everybody together for a training day, or if we run a trial, then I suppose that's a little bit of content we could do while we're doing that, couldn't we? We could easily go and have people doing crossbar challenge or anything like that. I'm sure you guys can suggest stuff for us. Try and get more players and ex-players on. We try, honestly, but the numbers tell us that you're actually not really that interested, or a lot of people aren't that interested in seeing that. Even though we've had, like I said, we've had more than 30 players and ex-players on, and even the manager Mourinho's been on. FTD Crew FC versus FTD Subscribers FC football match. That's really complicated. You have to draw me a picture of that. You mean just the FTD FC versus the subscribers? I'm sure that's probably doable. Is anybody leaving? At the moment, I don't know. Who do I think will leave? I think, first team wise, possibly no one, maybe Ashley Young. I think under 23s is quite a lot. The Premier League code for Fantasy League we'll throw in after the video's gone off, so you can check it out there. Do I think we're going to sign one more? Jim, yes, I do think we're going to sign one more, mate. I think the way Mourinho's talking, it might drag out to the end of the window, but there's no reason to panic, is there? I think we can definitely do that. Stop broadcasting in my room. I'm not broadcasting in my room. This isn't a bedroom. Think if United had Griezmann, missed that one, sorry. What happens if Jose doesn't do well in the league? It's an interesting point, because technically the club, if they're going off what they did with Moyes and Van Gaal, should really get rid of him. But I also think that you can clearly see he's been doing developments. He's making things better. I do think the club would probably stick by him, I think. I definitely think the club would probably stick by him. FTD Footy Manager vids, they don't do good on the numbers, unfortunately. They also take days to make. Where do I think we'll finish in the league? I'm going to get clipped up by saying this, but I think first. I think United can finish first. I really do. I feel really confident. Do you guys feel confident this year? I feel confident, man. I really feel confident. I'm looking forward to this year so much. I think Jose's going to go really hard for the Super Cup on Tuesday. And I think that first league game, I can't wait, man. I can't wait to be back at Old Trafford and getting back in the mix. Will James Wilson get a first team go? No. I don't think he will. I don't think so, unfortunately. Gorilla Movarella. I think we need to start a Where's Varela campaign. Are you guys up for this? I think Where's Varela is a legitimate question that we need to ask, because he wasn't with the 23s. He wasn't with the first team. He's come back from Frankfurt, and legitimately, nobody knows where they are. So, where's Varela? Hashtag where's Varela? Or hashtag find Varela. What do you reckon we should have? Hashtag where's Varela or hashtag find Varela? And should we see if we can find him before the end of the window? What do you guys reckon? My Guinness, explain. I did have my first Guinness on Tuesday. It was alright, but the burnt taste after it wasn't really kicking it, to be honest. So I had one. I'll probably have another, maybe, but not for a bit. Is it like that Burkhardt will ever break into United's first team? Still young at the moment. Possible, I think. Am I worried about Lindelof and his shaky start? No. So back in December, I did a video where we was linked with Lindelof, and I looked at him from a pure defensive point of view. And the reason why I was looking at it like this is we'd just done an interview with Wes Brown, and Wes Brown spoke to us off camera a little bit about how you sort of rate and analyse defenders. So literally just taking everything Wes Brown had said, I watched Lindelof and I was like, no, shit defensively. Which might have been me preempting it a little bit. And what I saw in January and December hasn't really changed. He's still been poor defensively, positionally, and he gets turned a little bit as well. He's a little bit eager sometimes. But one, he's pretty young and he could still develop that, and he's at the right kind of place to develop that. But I think he brings more to that as well. And I thought what we saw yesterday in Dublin, with him playing on one side and Blind on the other, with a more of a sort of destroyer sort of centre half in the middle of the three, it made sense to me. We're going to try and recycle possession through that back line and into midfield. You're going to kind of miss out Smalling and possibly Bayer if that's the option. But a ball-playing team from the back. Because what I saw with Manchester United a couple of times on pre-season, not so much against Real Madrid and Barcelona, because I think actually they're a little bit levels above us. But what I saw with United is that we're trying to transition that defence and defending into attack really fast. And I think that one of the ways that you can do that is having people who can ball play from the back. I think Blind's excellent at it, and I think Lindelof's excellent at it. And it made more sense to me seeing him in that right-hand side defensive slot. I thought he was going to play centrally, but if he's going to play on that right-hand side, then I kind of get it. And I still think there's things that he's got to work on positionally, but I didn't think he was out of position at all yesterday. And I know it was only Sampdoria, but maybe he's working on the sort of things that he's doing already. So I'm intrigued and I'm excited as to what he can bring, because I thought, man, look at the Mkhitaryan goal. It comes from an indirect free kick inside our box, and we turn it into a goal in, 21 seconds or something along those lines? I liked it. I liked that speed a lot, because United, under Moyes, just don't have a fucking clue what he was doing. Under Van Gaal, we never did anything that fast. We never did anything that fast under Louis Van Gaal. So the fact that we've now transitioned, what we did with Zlatan served a purpose. Now we've gone for an evolution, because Lukaku can run the channels. Lukaku can get down there quick, and we are going for a speedy team. And I'm excited about that. I think the speed is big, and I think that Lukaku being on the end of those things, Rashford potentially being on the end of those things, Bale possibly getting on the end of those things, with ball players from the back, that excites me, man. That really excites me. So, do you know what? It's 27 minutes, man. I'm only supposed to do 15. I'm going to bounce. But you guys, let me know as soon as this video finishes and goes. So these comments all disappear. So if you want to comment, you need to comment after the video's gone up. 1, do we need to do a find Varela or where's Varela hashtag? And let's try and get him found and find out where he is and get to the bottom of it. There's 1,500 legends in here at the moment. So thanks to all you guys for joining us. We're going to find Varela. You guys are going to tell us how we're going to get to 500k, and you're all going to tell your milkman. And let us know what you want to do with FTDFC in terms of content. If you think that's the sort of thing that you want to see us do. Anything along those lines. Collaborations, who you want to see us with. And also, fantasy football. Oh my God, there's so many any other businesses here, isn't there? Fantasy Football League, we'll put the code in there as well so you can go head-to-head with us. I'm absolutely rubbish at Fantasy League. I never get it at all. So anyway, thank you guys for joining us tonight. This has been fun. We're back at 11 PM tomorrow for tomorrow's Transfers Today, which I think is me again. And what else was there? Yes, we've got a debate at 12 tomorrow. So come and join in that one. We're going to be talking about where Manchester United are going to finish this season. Hashtag find Varela. Laters.